Hey, what's up guys? So back with another video. Sorry it's been a while. I've had a crazy hectic last 2-3 weeks. I don't even know what it is. I am super tired. But there is a lot of really cool stuff that is going to be happening with the Coronet, and you'll see here in just a second. Hey, what's up guys? So, first things first is I wanted to tell you about SEMA's Media Trade Conference, or the MPMC, and it stands for Motorsports Parts Manufacturers Council. And basically, it's normally held down in Los Angeles, but because of the COVID thing, it's been held online this year. And the platform is actually really nice, and it was super easy to navigate. So what it is normally they take companies. Let's just say I have my own company, right? And I own a shop and I build cars or whatever it is. I get invited to the SEMA MPMC, and I get to talk to different manufacturers about like what I do, what my business is all about, and they get a chance to talk about who they are, what products they have, and stuff like that. So the last couple years, they've actually opened it up to social media guys, because there is a ton of really good builders out there and people who just know their craft, and it's actually been really nice exposure for SEMA, these companies, and the guys on social media. So a company called Drive Shop USA actually reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be a part of SEMA's MPMC this year, and of course, obviously, I said yes. You know what I mean? So it was an incredible opportunity to actually sit down and discuss what I'm doing with my project on the Coronet, like the Hemi swap, everything. So, talking with each individual company one-on-one, like MSD or Holly or QA1, IDIDIT Steering, and so sitting with them and actually hearing what products they have, hearing what products they're going to be coming out with, stuff that would work for my build and stuff like that. And it was just like the most rad experience I could have ever been a part of. So super thankful that Drive Shop USA reached out to me, and they're on Instagram. You can check them out, as well as myself. So that's actually how they came across me, is on my Instagram page, because I've had that for a while, and I've got a bigger following on there than my YouTube and stuff. So they reached out to me, we were talking, and long story short, they sent me the registration forms for the SEMA's MPMC, signed up, and I was in. And again, I know I keep saying it, but it was the coolest experience ever. So I got a chance to tell these companies about my car, and again, like what I'm doing, and they were all about it. Like, dude, that's like a super rad project. You just don't see that kind of thing. And so, we're in, So, in this particular video, I want to just kind of talk about IDIDIT Steering. So, IDIDIT Steering is a company that does steering columns for old cars, for classic cars and stuff like that. So, talking with them, they were really interested in my build, and I told them that the steering column that I've got in my car is a column shift, because that's what this car came with from the factory. It was a 318 automatic with a 904, and so the shifting was on the column, which is it was okay for back in the day, but it's just totally lame now. What you're going to see right now was my previous plan before I went to the MPMC. I was just going to rip the column out and then tear all of the automatic stuff off, like the column shift stuff, and then I was just going to put it back in the car as bare bones as possible, but it just would have looked goofy, and I'm glad I didn't. So check it out. So today I figured I ought to just show you guys what I'm doing. I'm going to be removing the whole steering column. So I've already gotten the two bolts that hold the steering column itself to the little upper frame right here. And then on the back side, I'm just going to be unbolting these two bolts here, and then I already got a couple of the bolts out on either side, and this is just for like this little plate that will it seals against the firewall so that you don't have a bunch of like wind and noise coming through, and it also seals the steering column coming through the dash there. So on this side, I already went ahead and removed the pin out from the like the kickdown, or sorry, not the kickdown, but the shifter linkage here. So there's just like a little cotter pin you pull out, and there's a couple washers, and then you're good to go. Set that off to the side, and then you're gonna make sure that this arm is not facing that way, facing down, so that when you go to pull it through, it'll be able to fit there. Also down here, I forgot to mention, before you do any of that, unplug your wiring harness that goes into the steering column. This is for like your turn signal and your horn and such like that, and for the ignition. And so you got to unplug both of those, and then after that, then it should be ready. Once you have those bolts out of the plate, this whole thing should just slide right out. All right, now that I've gotten these two harnesses unplugged, I unbolted the two bolts from the back of the firewall, and now this thing is ready to go to come out. Oh, this is really hard holding it, so hold on. And there we go. She's out. All right, here it is. The whole steering column out of the car. Actually, it wasn't too bad. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start disassembling the whole steering column and getting it cleaned up, and then just getting rid of all the unnecessary crap, like the little linkage here at the end for the column shift, because this Hemi is not going to be column shift. So let's get cleaning. Okay, so I've actually started to take apart the steering column here, and what I'm basically just going to be doing is I'm going to go through this whole thing, clean it up, and then I'm going to take off all the unnecessary things that I don't need that is making this a column shift, because the car is going to be a floor shift, obviously, once the Hemi is in, so there is no need for any of the column shift stuff. So I'm going to get working on this and take it apart. Alright, got the steering wheel cap off here. I had to get my little puller out. Now I'm going to disassemble the turn signal mechanism, and we'll go from there. Looks pretty good so far. Okay, so change of plans. I'm no longer going to be tearing apart the steering column. I just got done attending the 2021 SEMA's Media Trade Conference, the MPMC. And after doing that, I was talking with a company called IDIDIT Steering, and they want to work with me on getting a new steering column for the car, instead of me just trying to, slam something together out of this and try to modify my already existing steering column. So I'm actually gonna put this back together, and then I'm gonna package it up and send it out to them. And then over a period of a few months or so, they're going to develop a new steering column for me, and something that they can put out there on the market. They already have steering columns for these cars. It's just that this car is a in-column ignition. So I told them I really want to keep the in-column ignition, and so they're going to develop a steering column for me that has this, but doesn't have all of the shifting ability that is on this one, because this was a column shift car. So I'm pretty excited about that. So now I'm just going to reassemble the steering column again, minus the steering wheel, and ship it out to them. Should be pretty sweet. And then shortly I'll be showing you guys some pictures of the progress of the steering column that's being made, and what it looks like. So let's do it. All right, so I just reassembled the turn signal little deal here, and now I'm going to put in the lock ring to secure this to the steering column, and then I'm going to put back the shifter, even though they're not going to use this, but they still want to keep that in reference for designing something that has the ignition in the column here. So it's just a matter of putting those pieces back in and shipping it out. All right, now that I've got the turn signal cam installed and I've got my turn signal lever screwed back in, and it's got one single little screw that goes right through here, and then you can see it just operates like so, back and forth. And there is your emergency flasher button, and then there's 3 screws that hold this outer housing to the rest of the steering column. So anyway, that's all back in now, and now I just got to work on getting the shift arm back into its place with the little roller pin here, which was actually not too bad on getting out, but yeah, it's going to be maybe a little bit difficult to get it back in there, but yeah, let's do it. Okay, so now that I've gotten the steering column completely assembled, I realized that when the shifter was on there and the turn signal lever, that it was probably going to get damaged or broken at some point during shipping, no matter how well I wrapped it. And I just didn't want to do that, so I just went ahead and took them off, and I'm just going to send them out separately. So as you guys can see, here is the port for the shifter, and then here is the hole for the turn signal lever goes. And I'll show you real quick what it will look like once they're both in. Like magic. So, but yeah, they would just stick out way too far. So I'm not going to risk having them be broken, especially the turn signal mechanism in here. This is the original one, and it's actually in really good condition, despite it just looking really dirty. But it works properly, so I don't want there to be any chance of that getting broken. I'm going to turn this over so you guys can see the other side. I have reassembled all the little brackets that come on the steering column here, because they want to see how this column is originally complete. So, and that includes these plates down here for mounting to the firewall. So I'm going to send it to them just like this so that they can see exactly what it looks like, so they got something to build off of. Oh, and something else that I just thought of too. I'm going to send them with my spare set of keys. And these are actually the spare keys that came from the factory too. And my other ones are over there hanging up on my little Batman thing. But yeah, just in case, I'm going to send this column with the keys in it, because in 1970, they first introduced the locking columns. So I'm sure they're going to need the keys in order to, you know, move the shifter plate around and stuff, and I just didn't want there to be any issue, so I'll just go ahead and send those keys, and just in case those get lost, I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, I've got mine over there, so should be pretty good. I'm genuinely really excited to be working with IDIDIT Steering. Talking with them at the MPMC, they had a lot of really great ideas, a lot of really great products and stuff like that, and they've got a ton of just bolt-on application stuff that you can just go to their site, order the specific type of steering column that you want, and then they'll just ship it right to you and bolt right in, and you'll be good to go. So all that being said, during the MPMC, while I was talking to IDIDIT, they were also asking if I wanted tilt steering, and I was like, you know, I'd never really thought of that, and it would actually help me out quite a bit, because I'm 6'4". The seats I have in here are new Corbo racing seats, essentially. So they fit in there really, really nice, and they're really comfortable. It's just that, you know, again, I'm 6'4", so like in order for me to be really comfortable, I kind of gotta be leaning back quite a bit. So that pulls me away from the steering wheel. So if it's like the factory one here, and it's in a locked, fixed position, I can't exactly adjust that very well for me as far as like my hands go. So having a tilt steering, I will be able to pull it down and adjust it and be a lot more comfortable. Oh my gosh, English. It's hard. All right, and that's where I'm at right about now. So like I said, the next video you guys see will be of the steering column coming back to me and the whole unboxing it and showing you guys how cool this thing is going to be. So stay tuned till then. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit your little bell thing. I got to make sure, what are all the other YouTube things? Oh yeah, so comment, like the video. And again, if I've earned your subscription, please subscribe, tell your friends, and dudes, we'll see you next time.